everybody, welcome to Kess the Jester's tutorial on hidden doors. This is the second tutorial. This one is using very simple redstone circuits, and let's have a look at a few of those circuits before we start. So the very first thing we need to know is what a pulse extender does. So if I press this button and we look at the two torches there, you will see that the second one stays on for much longer time than the first one does. And it does this because we have got a setup involving comparators and redstone, and let's do some breaking, or maybe not. Let's actually get in the right game mode for a start. That's better. So, if we just get a little bit of redstone. So, well, let's just shorten it. It will give you a slower. It will stop the delay being so much. So what happens with this? You send the pulse through there. When the pulse is there, it's at 15, 14, 13, 12. So when the signal strength goes into there, it's 12, which is fine. And then when the button comes off, it goes out. There's no more signal coming into there. However, when it goes through here, that keeps it the same signal strength, but it gives it some delay. So does that. Comes there, goes down to there, loses one signal strength. 1, 2, comes back here, loses one strength. So every time it goes through that circuit, it's losing 2 signal strength. So it's got to there. It's 14, 12, 10, 8, sits 4. By the time it gets to 2, it's then not enough power. But because there's a delay in that, it means that that redstone lamp is on for a lot longer. Now, we can make it last even longer just by putting one block in there like that, because then it's not losing one signal strength as it goes through there. So that will pretty much double the length of time that that redstone lamp stays on. And if we did this, it wouldn't actually turn off at all, because it's not actually reducing the signal strength at any point. Here you go. Instant forever light. Until we break the circuit. Okay. So that's our first circuit, the pulse extender. Then have a look at the second one. Now this is a T flip-flop, and what we need here, just to demonstrate it, is a redstone lamp. So let's put a redstone lamp here. Now, so what happens with T flip-flop is we've got, every time there's a change to this situation, we've got here, we've got an observer, we've got a sticky piston, we've got a redstone block. If we change the state in front of the observer, that will go out, and that light will turn on. And then we change the state again, then it will go back off. So if we do that, it lights it up. And if we put the grass back again there, it goes off. But because it's an observer, we can do other things with it as well. So for example, I can do that, which will turn it on, and then shortly afterwards, when that, oh, it doesn't work very well now. There we go. That will turn it off again, so we can change it. And then, by random computing 6, it will eventually turn back into dirt, and that will go off. That's not the only thing we can use. So anything that the observer can detect pretty much can be used as a way of sourcing a T flip-flop and opening the door rather than turning the lamp on. And the third circuit we're going to look at here is what's known as a jeb door, or a 1x2 flush door. So we can't see a door here at all, but if I press this button, the door opens up, and a short time later it turns off. Now if we look at this from the other side, we can see we've got 2 pistons there which are holding those blocks in place, and then 4 pistons which will, when this is retracted, these 4 pistons will bring back the 2 pistons and the 2 blocks. And the circuitry for this is very simple as well. We've got, at the moment, this is making these 2 pistons go out, and these are making the 4 pistons go out. When we press this button, it switches it round. So as that stops being powered, it retracts it. We can see that better if I press this button here. We can see how it retracts, then it retracts, and it goes out. Brought back. Now, what's nice about this is that I can have my button there, and I can have my button there, and I can also have another button here if I like. So every time there's a power going into any of those 3 sides, it's deactivating that redstone torch, which means that it's deactivating the circuit. So we can have multiple different ways of activating it, and in particular we can have it activated from one side and we can have it activated from the reverse side. So let's have a look at some of these different circuits being used. And here we have the most simple hidden door you can possibly imagine. Well, we can't see it at the moment, but what I've got right in front of me is a stone button on a stone block. And as long as I'm facing it in this direction, it's not very easy to see. If I press that button, that opens that door there. And we go through into my little Aladdin's cave of diamonds everywhere. Ooh, even more diamonds there. And we have a very simple circuit. That button is powering this, which is going to a pulse extender, which is going into that redstone torch, turning that redstone torch off, retracts those 2 pistons, and we can get out. And we can see this if I press this button here. And it's just a very simple delay circuit really. The only problem with this is that if we look at a stone button from the side, it's much more obvious than when we look at it from head on, where it's really quite hard to see. The only thing else I'd say, that if you noticed, I used 2 different sorts of blocks there, which makes it look much more natural than if I'd used 2 of the same things. Even though I could have had a flush door there, which would have worked just as well, it looks better there. So let's have a look at another example of the same circuit, or very similar circuit. So here we are in what was my old base on the family server, and we're having a quick look around. Have you spotted the hidden button? Well, it's actually right there, and why it's very hard to see is because to approach it from this side, you've got to be pretty much there before you can actually see there's a button at all, and it's still very well hidden. Press it, and again we've got the same sort of piston there. We've got a different circuit, a slightly more advanced circuit, which allows it to stay open rather than closing automatically. It's closed if we press the button again. But that is much better hidden just because we've got a block further up. And also you're not going to stand there. And even if you do, it's still quite hard to spot that. There are a couple more, actually there's 3 more hidden doors in this particular room. The one that you would have noticed from previous season is, or previous tutorial I should say, is that the painting door. I will be looking at some of the other hidden doors at another time. Just by the way, because I spent tiny. This is my very first base, and it's a little bit weird. It's an elephant. Well, I like it, even if nobody else does. Okay, let's look at a couple more doors. And this time we're going to fly over to my mansion. No, this isn't the mansion on zimmervoid.com. This is a mansion on the family server. So, it's got a slightly different fireplace hidden door to the old one. It's still got another ladder going up there, but I haven't put the iron grating in yet. But we're going to be looking at two hidden doors here. Actually, three hidden doors here. First one, there's a hidden door there. And how is it activated? Well, if we think about the observer and the T flip-flop button, if I press and activate that, the redstone, just by hitting it, that allows us to go through a gem door. And there's another not hidden door there, which is also using the same technology, only this time it's using the hoe to break the grass off one of these doors, one of these blocks of grass, which will then open the door. But we haven't got a hoe obvious here. There should be a hoe right there, so I'm going to have to find it. Button to let us out here. So, what else have we got? We have another gem door right there. This one is activated. Is it there or is it there? I can't actually remember. This is a trap chest. And just opening the trap chest opens up the door. Again with a pulse extender, which leaves just enough delay to go through. And obviously the circuit can be opened from the other side. Now, we also have a hidden door right here. And finding this, and it's a button hidden door, is not the easiest thing in the world. How do we find it? Well, there's a button hidden behind the lava. I could just try randomly pressing buttons. But that's not going to work very well. If I go into F3, however, and just run the mouse around quite a bit, and I happen to know there that the button isn't there. If you look on the right hand side where it says Minecraft wooden bossing faces south powered force, that's an easy spot. So I can press that. The lava drops down because of the pistons, and we're through into a room that we would have seen before in the previous tutorial. Now, what else can we do? We can hide hidden buttons anywhere, and there's a really good video by Mumbo Jumbo on just where to hide buttons. So we can use that circuitry to hide your hidden buttons under your dead doors anywhere you like. So just show you 3 hidden buttons on this room, and they're hidden in different. The first one is not a particularly well hidden button. The button is right behind there, so it's quite easy to see the button. The problem with it is if you press it, it's very, very difficult to get through there. And in fact, the easiest way to do it, I messed that up horribly. The easiest way to get through there is actually to have an ender pearl with you, press your button and ender pearl instead. So it's I can have the time delay on that sufficiently great that you have to ender pearl in to get through there. Whilst I'm here, let's show you another hidden door. This is the most simple hidden door you can possibly have. I have got a switch which powers a redstone circuit which pulls like a piston, which opens that door there. Now this is only accessible from one side. To show you where I am, if I go through here, I'm the other side of the room that we saw just before. But if you made it here, unless this was open, there would be no way you would know how to get past that. So we can go through there, out. So, 2 more hidden buttons. We've got one, there's a doorway here, and the button is hidden. Can you see that right there? And only because we can stand at the edge of the block there can we press that button and then go through it. And we've got another one of these 1 block escape buttons that we can open up and escape into the outside. Maybe not want to do that for too long because it's dark. Okay, and there's actually a button on the ceiling here. Let's show you one more hidden button in this room. So, you can see on this side, we can't see the button that was hidden back there, because we can't go in there, but there is a door there. And it's actually, I don't know if you can see that very easily, hidden there. So if we press that, and need to be really fast when we do it, we can get through there. That leads me down to the mines, so I can just drop down there. And if we go through here, we've got another gem door with a stone button to let us out. And no obvious way back in. There's no buttons in any of these hollowed out areas. So how do we get back in? Well, if you remember that we used the redstone blocks and the observer blocks before, we've done this again. Now, we came out about there. There's a redstone block here, but pressing that does no good whatsoever. But the one after it does work, and that's our way in. And our way up is not along that ladder, but on a not very well working elevator. Okay. Got one more very simple redstone door to show you. The most simple one of the lot. So, we could go out here, which takes us to a room that we've already been to. But to go further than that, we're somewhat stopped. But I've put a lever up there with a piston which sets the water down, and we can climb the water to allow us to access this part of the room. Very simple system. Block of water, piston, cut water can't go any further because of the sign. It will just go straight down. And in this part of the room, we've got, if we actually go down to the bottom, there's no way through to the door there. Now I could use an ender pearl to get up there, but it was actually designed for you to go up the water and then if you've got some talent you should be able to jump across to there. Some days are better than others, so you can jump from that water to there. It's just there. And we're looking at the mansion that we started at. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. This is the simple redstone tutorial. Next time we'll be looking at some more non-redstone doors, and then after that we're going to be looking at some more complex redstone doors. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. Thank you very much. I've been Kester the Jester, and goodbye.